Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Dong Report, where I give out my favorite MLB home run picks of the day. As for today, I got 3 home run picks for you guys. But before we can get into those, we need to do a quick recap from yesterday, where I gave out another 3 picks, and we got one of those 3 to cash. Thank you to Kyle Schwarber. Also, thanks to the odds of these home run picks, we were profitable yesterday just with getting that one to hit, up 1.4 units on yesterday's picks. That brings our total profit on the Dong Report up to 74.65 units in profit. Just insane. For those of you $100 unit bettors, you are up $7,400 just from these home run picks. Let's hope to keep the streak going today. As for today, I mentioned I got 3 more picks for you guys. If you could subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're not already, would appreciate that a ton. And let's chat dongs. So play number 1, this is in the Orioles versus Astros game. Give me Yordan Alvarez to hit a home run plus 290 odds at FanDuel. Side note, I just learned today that his nickname is Air Jordan, which is awesome. I wish I knew that information prior to today. I think that's really cool. That definitely helps our chances for him to mash one tonight. But regardless, even outside of that fact, I do love for him to hit one. The Orioles are pitching Kyle Gibson on the mound, who is quite frankly just not a good pitcher. He's also a right-handed pitcher, and Yordan Alvarez crushes right-handed pitching. The stat that I look for this is ISO rate, which stands for isolated power. Keep in mind that isolated power, if you're not familiar, literally measures how much power that a batter has, Anything 20% and above is considered great, and anything 25% and above is considered excellent. So Yordan Alvarez, looking at his ISO rate against left-handed pitching, 21.2%. So in the great category. Against right-handed pitching, that number jumps all the way up to 33.3%. It's a massive difference between lefties and righties. The fact that he's also not a good right-handed pitcher definitely bodes well for us. So looking at his stats for the entire year, not looking at specific splits against whatever arm the pitcher is, his ISO rate is 28.8% and his barrel rate is 17.7%. Barrel rate measures how well you hit the barrel of the bat when you actually make contact. Swings and misses don't count, but when you make contact, that's what it measures. For barrel rate, anything 15% and above is considered excellent. So he's excellent in both categories, which I absolutely love. He's also been on fire recently. Looking at his ISO rate in the past 2 weeks alone, it's at 42.9%. That's the second highest in the entire MLB in that span. Very confident he is going to mash one for us, cashing our first play of the evening. Next up, in the Mets versus Marlins game, give me Jorge Soler to hit a home run. That is at plus 330 odds at FanDuel. So Soler has been on a pretty ridiculous heater in the recent games that he specifically has played, but he missed a couple weeks from the end of August to the beginning of September, so it's kind of gone a little bit under the radar. Now, some of the people that have been commenting have mentioned Soler, so not under the radar to them, more so nationally. In his last 10 games that he has played, he has hit 4 home runs, including just hitting one 2 days ago against the Braves on September 17th. Now, the Marlins stadium isn't great from a home run perspective, so a lot of times I end up not even having Soler on my radar if the game is in Miami, because I try to not look for negative home run games. But players like Soler can overcome that. So that is a risk for today, but that's a risk that I'm willing to take. So looking at his stats, he's got 16 home runs at home, and he's got 20 on the road. So definitely more on the road, obviously, but it's not as though those splits are so dramatic that he's just incapable of having consistent power at home. He also should crush the Mets pitcher. Joey Lucchesi is pitching for the Mets, who's actually having a pretty good year in limited innings, but he's a lefty, and similar to Yordan Alvarez, but just the opposite. Soler crushes left-handed pitching. His ISO rate against right-handed pitching is 23.1%. So great, obviously not bad. But against left-handed pitching, it's all the way up to 42.9% against left-handed pitching. That is insane splits for lefties. So he should be able to mash one for us tonight as well, cashing our second play. And third and final pick of the evening, we are going to go in the Phillies versus Braves game. Take Austin Riley to hit a home run, plus 425 odds, and this one is at DraftKings. So this game admittedly isn't a great weather game either, but there were two games that were extremely juicy from a weather perspective, and I didn't really like the slate on either of those two, so I avoided them. And to be fair, yesterday wasn't a great weather game either, and there were a ton of home runs hit, mostly on the Phillies side, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the Braves aren't going to come back and mash a ton tonight because we know how good the Braves are. The fact of the matter is both of these teams just crush the baseball when they play each other. I'm expecting that to continue tonight, and I'm expecting it to swing back in favor of the Braves. Riley is also a good batter who's been playing well recently. He's got 2 home runs in his last 5 games, including a home run against these Phillies on September 15th. Now, the Phillies do have a pretty good pitcher on the mound in Christopher Sanchez, but last time these two teams played, Riley took him yard. So the fact that he has recent success against him, I like. Austin Riley is also better against left-handed pitching than he is against right-handed pitching. Now, it's not as dramatic as the previous 2 batters, but against lefties, his ISO rate is 27.7%. Against righties, it's only 22.5%. So still the difference between great and excellent based on the handedness of the pitcher. He's also slightly better at home as well, which I don't really know how much stock you can put into that. That's just looking at the numbers. And then lastly, as I mentioned, he has been playing well recently. His ISO rate in the past 2 weeks is 33.3%. So very confident he will mash one, cashing our third and final pick of the evening. In terms of honorable mentions, I just have one, and it's going to be Aaron Judge as an honorable mention. I don't track those whether they win or lose. In terms of the official Dong Report numbers, I have gotten a couple to track, so the success has been there. But we're only going to officially track the 3 that I mentioned. I put 1 unit on all 3 of them individually. I put a little bit, like $5 on a parlay of all 3. All we need is 1 to hit a home run, and we are profitable. And if we get all 3, we're going to be rich. So let's hope for that. And that's all I got. So again, appreciate everybody for watching. Make sure to like the video, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff helps me out a ton. And have a good one.